Where the fuck is McClay?
Yeah, if they could make that into a slogan, I just want to feel normal again, that would be like a manga. But someone's got to come up with that.
Bogcast, episode 79, Keith and Mac. Action.
Awesome. This is the Bogcast, episode 79. I'm Keith Obit with my co-host and best friend, Brian McClay. We are brought to you by Bang Salon. Come get all your hair needs, including cuts, natural colors, vivid colors, extensions, shampoo and stylings, all under one roof at Bang Salon. Find and message Bang Salon on Instagram at Bang Salon, at BANGDSALON. Use promo code
Bogcast
for 20% off your first visit. So come on down and get banged by Jorden. But if you really try to bang her, I'll fucking kill you. Cool.
Check us out on Spotify, on iTunes, on Google Play, all your favorite podcatchers, and make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Tell us what you think of the show.
Sweet. Before we get this show started, I didn't know if do you think you can scoot to that side of your seat?
What do you mean?
Just
like this?
Yeah, hang on. I want to check something real quick.
All right.
I want to check something. Yeah, can you get more over?
No. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
That's 6 feet right there. So can you get on the other end of that?
I already am, bro.
Okay, right there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck off.
Anyway, we know during this crazy pandemic that
Cannabis cough.
Jesus Christ, bro, sick. Fuck.
Right into the mic.
God damn. Yeah, we know a lot of these our homies businesses, or just a lot of businesses are struggling, so
it really sucks right now because basically everything's kind of been put on hold, and we're kind of want to do our best to help some people out and see if we can get some more people to help them out and make the world go round.
And like you said earlier, businesses that we fuck with that,
we think that you guys should fuck with.
Totally. So, I guess starting off with our sponsor, Bang Salon.
Yeah, definitely Bang Salon is one of the big ones because they have been our sponsor since episode 1.
Yes, sir. And right now, well, today is May 1st, Friday, so I thought things were going to open up today. I didn't really think they were going to extend it. I thought, Phoenix was going to be a little different, but that's fine. I know but for as far as the salon industry, she was, trying to figure out when to shut down,
That's a really tough situation to be in because
for sure.
You got to make money, but you also want to keep your customers. You don't want to piss your customers off.
Yeah.
You don't want to get sick, obviously. You don't want to hurt anybody.
But it's been good and bad because now once they do lift the restrictions, all these people are going to need to get their hair done, and a lot of people went and did it on their own with box dyes and just fucked it up and did it worse.
So if you fucked up your hair,
yeah,
make sure you give Bang a call.
So we never really done this before, but you could just pretty much be our Jamie now. We figured out how to get the internet, and we're just going to scroll through different businesses and talk about what we like and enjoy about them,
and if we miss any, we apologize because there's a lot of businesses and people and groups that we want to shout out. If we miss you, we'll get you. Trust us. We're gonna start trying to do this more. We're gonna try and start filming some of these places, us in them. Giving you little videos maybe on our Instagram. By the way, check out our Instagram, the Bogcast at the Bogcast. But yeah, maybe once everything kind of clears up here soon, or we get the chance to go into these businesses, we definitely want to take some video and show what we're talking about and show you guys some of the really cool places around the valley and nationally, places that we enjoy, being a part of their clientele or being a part of their patron of them.
Yeah.
So.
And like you said, there's a lot of them, so we apologize if we miss any. So.
But number one, of course, is Bang Salon. So let's get through this. A big shout out to Jorden Earl, the owner and operator of Bang Salon. For those of you guys that don't know, she is an amazing artist, and we wanted to start basically by showing you guys some of the amazing stuff that's on her Instagram page. So that's what we kind of got up here first. And we're just going to kind of go through it and show you guys some of the things that we enjoy. So
you can find this at BANGDSALON, like I mentioned earlier. And to be honest, before I didn't really know obviously much about hair and all this, but I didn't realize how artistic and how much, goes into doing these kinds of process of different hair and
I mean, when you just look at some of the stuff, it's fucking amazing. Like you're saying, look at this.
Like some of these are like 5 to 6 hour processes.
I love this shit right here. I love when it even looks good and they do it to where it looks good in the in braids and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean, that just looks so cool. I love the art on the side of the head too when it's shaved. That's just cool.
What's crazy
shit,
is I obviously love the colorful stuff more obviously, but the normal hair color stuff, that's actually like harder to do, which is funny, you know what I mean?
You have to make it look like it natural.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A lot of people wanting to go from like that's her grandma.
Shout out grandma.
No, a lot of people wanting to go from like unrealistic hair colors from like, I don't know, say like a brown to a blonde. I don't know, that could be more realistic, but a lot goes into that. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard, but I love this type of shit too, where it's like a really cool gray, silverish look. That shit is so cool to me.
Yeah.
If I ever have any need to dye my hair, I've always said that I want to have somebody that can make it like either
pink mohawk,
super white.
This guy rocked a pink mohawk in high school.
Either super white, like almost like so white,
like Gandalf.
Like Gandalf.
Was it Saruman? Is that?
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah.
Whatever the guy has that's had the super white hair. That's what I want. But I don't think it's going to happen naturally. But if I ever dyed my hair, that's probably what I would do. And this shit makes me realize that it can happen. So
if you went naturally gray or white, would you still have long hair?
If I went naturally white, of course.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd be like a wizard.
Yeah.
Scroll down. There's one that I think is real badass. Keep going.
She also does men's hair, so make sure if you guys like men's cuts or men's, she does dyes or colorings and cuts. So
it's gonna be really interesting actually after salons open back up. As far as look at that stud right there pointing with the hoodie. By the way, you could buy hoodies. No, the stud below it.
Oh, I know.
Just kidding. I just wanted to show the hoodie. That's why you could buy hoodies, and you can also buy shirts. Like I said, just got banged. Yeah. And like I said, you just go to @BANGDSALON. But what was I saying?
She's just really good at what she does. She's really friendly. She's a cool person to be around. So, give her a shout and
the salon restrictions as far as, there's who knows what the world's gonna be different obviously on everything,
dude, gloves and
you're real close proximity with people and stuff. So, I don't know. We'll see how that changes. But also, by the way, she does do art on the side. She normally paints dogs and stuff, but she also has prints of this Guy Fieri on a little
and people love
angel
this
baby.
shit.
Oh yeah,
they love this Guy Fieri on a angel baby.
She posted this on a Guy Fieri like fan page, and some dude in Florida bought the original print for like I think $130 or something, and she sells these I think for like $20 or $30. So.
Hey, there's nothing better than going out and being your own boss.
Oh fuck yeah!
And I give props to anybody that's doing it. I took the big leap. We're trying our best to do that our best right now, and she's succeeding. So
well, I think I've told this story before, but it's also. If you ever want to try anything and you think you're like, oh, I always wanted to draw or I always wanted to do this and you never did it, just do it, because she didn't know she had this skill until about a year and a half ago. And she went to one of those wine painting things. One of her clients asked her, said, hey, do you want to go to this wine painting? You paint, you drink wine.
Yeah,
they end
up
painting.
Really popular.
Oh yeah, very, very popular. And she ended up going, and she had hesitations of going at first. She didn't really want to go, and then she ended up just saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go. And she ended up painting that
badass
Fabius painting, which ended up actually being the best painting in the fucking class. And I was like, you fucking painted that?
And when I look at it, it's amazing. Let me see here. I'm sure is it on her Instagram?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see if we can
It's gotta
find it
be
while
on
we're
there.
talking about it. But
Oh, there it is.
there
right
it is
there.
right
That's
there.
her very, very, very first painting. I know it's not necessarily the greatest painting, but
What
to
are you
me, it's
talking about?
awesome.
That's
No, I think it
amazing.
is amazing.
Yeah.
I know, I think it is amazing.
Even
but like,
a person
what I'm
that's
trying to say is
on
that's
art
her.
mind. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it is too. I'm just saying, as her first painting and only just everyone getting better, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, you fucking painted that? Holy shit. So she posted that on Facebook, and then sure as shit, everyone's like, can you paint my dog? Can you paint my dog? And it turned into this side business where she's painting dogs, 2-3 days a week.
Anybody's
Cats.
pets. She'll paint just about anything.
Yeah, someone
so.
asked to paint for their pet rats.
That's cool. Hey, parrots, turtles.
So she does
tortoises.
$75 a dog, and I think a $20 deposit. So you could also message her on either Bang Salon or her personal Instagram page if you want one of your pets painted as. But she's starting to get into portraits too. So obviously, just like everybody else, we watched Tiger King, and that right when we finished it, she had the urge to paint Joe Exotic. Fucking painted this, and then sold that for like fucking $200 or some shit like
That's
that.
awesome.
Made prints from that too. So.
Good for her.
Yeah,
good for her. Big shout out to Jorden, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, sweet.
All right.
What else we got?
Next, we want to talk about is somebody we talk about pretty often, and Hempful Farms. We are a huge supporter of Hempful Farms, and Chris and Andy Martin and what they're doing. Their whole family is part of the business, and just I've got a lot of respect for them. So we talk about them a lot, and you're going to hear us talk about them a lot. But if they keep continuing to do the good things they do, why not talk about them?
Oh, for sure.
Especially when they're local and they're doing what they're doing. So, we got involved with Chris. We had him on as a guest. Somebody had recommended him as a guest. We brought him in, and he literally changed our world. If you guys watch the interview, there is a period of time in there, a long period of time, where both me and Keith we don't say anything because we're just
like this.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So what Chris is doing is not only is this his business, but it's a way of life for him, and he's just trying to make a better community, a better place for his kids to grow up in, for our kids.
We'll
to grow
talk
up
about
in.
a story just briefly.
Go ahead. I'll let you go ahead and do it because I'm gonna spark this.
Well,
in honor of Hempful Farms.
Yeah, technically, he grew up in just several different homes, different foster cares, just on a kind of
product. He was a product of the foster care system for a while.
Yep, and a lot of corruption that he had to deal with. Just not a lot of people telling him that they loved him just growing up and stuff.
Yes.
And
or support.
or support. And
he saw a lot of abuse early on. He saw men who were father figures in his life, or that were supposed to be father figures in his life, abuse people, his mom and him and his people in his family, and it wasn't a good situation for a young man to grow up in.
But he did have a few people on his side,
He did.
that really steered him in the right direction, as far as his high school coach, a couple other mentors and stuff.
His not parole officer, but whatever they call it. Basically, when you're in the foster care system, they assign you to somebody that keeps a track of you. And I forget the gentleman's name. I apologize, but he was a big part of Chris's life, and he ended up getting him. Well, we don't want to give the story away, and the reason why is because he has put out an amazing book.
Yeah, actually. So you can watch our episode, which actually has fragments of his story, but you could also read his book, which is One Life, which obviously goes deeper, but each chapter of this book could be its own fucking movie, because the story's so crazy, but not just crazy, but inspirational.
Very inspirational.
Because with everything that he faced, he always made something positive out of everything that he was involved with.
And that includes prison.
That includes prison. You know, he changed, and he also, explains the corruptness of, the prison system, how, it's just a for-profit, system in a sense.
The corruption of the war on drugs.
And
he's a very smart individual.
Then another local filmmaker named Trey Goodman, and got with another filmmaker and turned the book into a documentary, which you can order on. You can order the book on Amazon also.
Yeah.
But you could also get the DVD,
or you can watch it on Prime.
You can
rent
you can rent it on Prime, or you can, if you like the physical copy, you can get a physical copy.
It's totally worth renting. It's very excellent.
All local Phoenix, from Arizona. I believe the crew's all local. Phoenix. But
they did a good job. It was very good, and
yeah, I loved it.
It tells the story well. But yeah, so Chris has those available, just to get an idea about his life. But more importantly, his business Hempful Farms is doing some amazing things. They've got the CBD stuff. They do all kinds of CBD stuff, CBD products. They educate about cannabis and CBD. I think the last time I ran into Chris was right as COVID-19 or this craziness was kind of heating up, right before they made everybody go quarantine. And I stopped by his shop in Goodyear. He has a couple Hempful Farm locations in Phoenix. He has one not Goodyear, Youngtown, and one in Phoenix. And I stopped by the Youngtown one because they're having a little event just to go say hi. And I walked in, and Chris was standing like in a hallway, kind of just peeking in on something. He didn't want to interrupt him or anything, but you could tell he was just kind of peeking in. And what he was watching was there was a little class they were giving, and it was children that were giving the class in front of the class, talking about their experiences about cannabis. And it was packed with adults and children, like hearing like what do we need to know about children who are around cannabis? What is a household that talks openly about cannabis, that deals with cannabis openly, and educates people? It was amazing.
You know how forward thinking that is? Like, he probably gets shit for that even from certain people, but like 10, 15, 20 years from now, people are going to be like that. Like, they do that to him now already for what he was doing, just getting his Onco bars into the market, but he's so forward thinking constantly.
Well, I remember something he said during our interview, and I believe it was during our interview, and he said it to us.
Cannabis
at one
cough.
point. He said it's not a drug in my household. It's a medicine.
Yeah.
This is a medicine. And it's just like any other medicine. You're not going to tell your kids about medicine, especially medicine that works. Especially medicine that doesn't have these horrible side effects, and there isn't a list or a class action lawsuit against the type deal. If this is something you can cultivate yourself, and it's medicine. And that really hit home with me, because it was like, yes.
That kind of education will, I bet you, the percentage of usage in like teenage years goes down significantly. You know what I mean? Compared to like us going into the DARE program, where we're like, I want to kind of try that.
You're 100.
You know what I mean?
That is 100% factual. And the reason why we know this is because of places like Portugal, Holland, or the Netherlands. They legalized it over there. They took away the stigma, and when it has no stigma, it changes.
Going out because of that fan.
It changes the way things happen. You know what I mean? When there's no stigma, you don't. The saying or the way it works is, if there's no stigma behind it, you don't have to hide in the shadows with it.
Exactly.
If there was no stigma behind going to a place to get your daily dose of heroin because you're an addict, we wouldn't have those heroin addicts stealing to get their daily dose. You know?
Sure.
And those heroin addicts aren't bad people. Not all of them are bad people.
That's like the bad shit of doing those drugs, is that you don't have the access to it, and because of the stigma and all the.
And that takes away the problem. Sure. I mean, but again.
Anyway, Hempful Farms.
Yes. They very, like you said, very forward thinking.
Do you want to I don't know, maybe Maybe you could talk about the paw putty.
That's actually what I wanted to talk about. Is if you go to their site, they have a bunch of stuff that they sell. But one of the things that's really cool that I like is paw putty, their paw putty brand. And this is something that Chris came up with his son. And
well, no, his son just came up with it, I think.
well, his son came up with it, and Chris said, you know what, that's a great idea. Let's put that into use. And they came up with this paw putty brand, which is dog treats that you can give your dog that have CBD. But even better, and this is a testimonial, I had ran out of CBD oil for Abby. My dog Abby is getting old. She's 11 years old now, close to 11 years old, and she has a form of cancer where she gets these cancerous tumors, and it's a pain in the ass. It's a bitch. But I've been giving her CBD oil for a long time, and I ran out. And so when I was at Chris's, I was like, hey, do you have CBD oil? I was like, yes, sir, I do. So I got some new CBD oil, and I use, Abby uses every day. And despite being old and having the cancer, she's in some of the best condition of her life right now. I mean, we walk twice a day. She walks, she runs.
How old is she
now? She's almost 11. Which isn't very old, but with the cancer.
Yeah, but if you keep the CBD up and walking and all that,
Yes.
you'll probably just prolong her life.
And she also loves it. She loves this stuff. And most people, like I remember when you were giving it to Fabius, you would just put it and he would come up and take it straight out of the dropper.
Yeah, he loves that shit too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, anyways, this paw putty brand is amazing. So make sure you guys check that out. And yeah. Hempful Farms, they do all kinds of stuff. They sell clothing, they sell CBD products, Zonka bars. If you live in Arizona and you don't, and you're part of the cannabis community, you don't know about Zonka bars, I don't know anybody that doesn't. Like, Zonka bars was a big, huge deal. It was like one of the first candy THC brands out here that I remember hearing about.
Yeah.
And now they're back on the market. So go check out Zonka bars. And he's just got so many things that he's got his hands in. So
we'll check him back on for sure.
Yeah. Check out Chris Martin. He's also got a podcast. So check out his podcast called Haters Make Me Famous. So yeah, check that out.
Hell yeah. What's next on here?
Let's see here. What do we got?
Oh, Nice
On
Dreams
to another
So
cannabis.
one of our old friends, Nick, he was on recently. He had gone to Egypt. We did get a lot of requests for a part 2 of that. We do have to keep our episodes to a 75-minute right now, just because of audio and video technical difficulties we're dealing with, but we do plan on having him back on to talk about the rest of his Egypt story and stuff.
He's just a fun person to have
Oh
conversations.
yeah, he's just an old homie that we've known for a long time, and I could talk to him about movies forever. I could talk to him about whatever, music, UFOs,
Egypt, fringe topics.
I wish we could have talked about this more, so now we have the opportunity to talk about it, but he has a company called Nice Dreams CBD, and he was kind enough to give us some gummy bears and this CBD pain cream. You could see it on the website up here, but it's 250 milligrams of nano CBD. I don't know if you can explain that, McClay.
So the way that something gets into your body is, especially a cream, it's got to go through cells, right? And I think this is the way it works. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. Maybe the way they extract CBDs, I think this is what he was saying. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. This will be fun.
Well, it probably says it on there.
Oh yeah. I'm an idiot. We're looking at it. Here we go. Once it comes up.
But
so basically,
it has to do with the absorption rate. So the nano, you're getting more of the CBD absorbed into your body compared to I guess non-nano, you're only getting, I'm just throwing this out there, but say 20-30% compared to 70 to 90% of this.
Yes, and it's more fast acting that way. And it also, I think it helps with keeping the CBD cells intact, maybe, because when they extract them, through nano extract them, it doesn't destroy most of them. You know what I mean? Does that sound right?
I mean, it sounds right, but I have no
Yeah,
idea.
it could be total bro science, but that's why you guys.
bro science.
That's why you guys just go to Nice
Don't
Dreams.
listen to anything what we're saying. Just go to their
go to
site.
nicedreamscbd.com and they'll tell you all
but
about it.
You,
but
you know, you can attest for your dad, and I could say myself, because I use it. I have a fucked up lower back, and I use it 3 fucking times a day.
You know what we're hearing right now? Those are the Firebird, the Thunderbirds.
Oh, they doing
and
that
the
path?
Blue Angels are doing their flyover right now.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but
they're
I can
fucking up our audio.
And they're fucking up our audio, man. Just kidding. Nice shout out to the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels for doing their flyover. So,
what are they doing that for?
For all the essential workers and people that are working and stuff.
Why not just give them like a fat bonus? Like they care
I
about that.
I know. That's why I said like
they just all step out.
I had
people,
all these people from that I used to work with hit me up like, dude, check this out. This is happening. I'm like, yeah, I can watch it on TV.
You mean instead of going out there?
Yeah,
it'd still be cool.
It's
to
100
see.
degrees out, dude.
It's not that bad. It's like 98.
We're complaining about 100 degrees. Anyways, so check out Nice Dream CBD. Like he said, my parents have been asking for a CBD cream for a long time, and I finally was able to get some. And thank you, Nick. We appreciate it.
Can you click on the products and scroll through real quick?
Yeah.
I just want to check them out.
And so my parents, were able to take it, and it's working, and they're loving it. My brother used it on his leg. He said it worked on his leg. That's another thing. I need to get Nick and my brother talking together about this stuff, because that would be a good testimonial. My brother's in constant pain with his leg and his knee, and this shit seemed to work. So that would be huge, you know what I mean, to get him to talk about that. But yeah, so they have these gummy watermelon slices, these vegan gummy watermelon slices are fucking amazing.
I enjoyed them.
They were so good.
I ate them all in like 2 days.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
I ate them like candy.
Yeah, and they have the vitamins, some gummy vitamins too. They're just they just got good product that we are using, and we fuck with them. So check them out, and also check out Nick's episode, because it was fucking awesome to hear some of the shit he told us about going to Egypt and hang out with Robert Schock and Lifetime type shit. That was cool. So
you stole his UFO story.
I swear to God. I swear to God, bro. That same thing.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, that shit happened to me, man. Anyway, all right. Next, a big homie that we love dearly, and
oh shit,
we have a ton of respect for, more respect for than he'll ever know. Michael Martin and Strongheartacademy.
So not just his academy, but most jiu-jitsu schools are probably obviously struggling right now.
And he's talking about it pretty heavily. Have you been listening, watching his posts lately?
Oh, for sure. And he just
expanded.
Yeah, so he had just expanded and tore down walls and rented out the building next door, and he had an entire plan of getting more students and all this, and no one knew that this was coming, and all of a sudden this came out of nowhere. So any way you can support not just Strongheart Academy, but any of your local jiu-jitsu academies in your area. He has different shirts that you can buy and merchandise. He actually gives lessons online on his Facebook.
Yeah. He's got a YouTube page. I think it's is it Learn to BJJ?
But this is strongheartacademy.com.
Yeah.
I think he has a lessons you can pay for on. Can you scroll back up?
Well, no, he has
online training.
Yeah, he has there's online training.
Like these are courses you can actually do through his website.
And he'll do training. He has actual YouTube training available for free too. So go check out his YouTube stuff. I think it's Learn to BJJ. I think something like that.
Or BJJ to go.
Yeah, I think
that's one of his. I know that's his ad on this, because he also has a podcast called This, That, and the Other. I'm an idiot.
AZADHD with
the AZADHD podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I'll have to edit that.
the AZADHD podcast, and it's 80HD podcast. AZ80HD podcast. It's an amazing podcast, and it's not all about jujitsu. It's about he did a
people overcoming addiction.
Yeah, he did a series on He did a 4-show series on addiction that was amazing. And he also has a real strong Facebook presence, so check out his Facebook. But one of the things that you just brought up is that we brought up is that he had just expanded right before all this stuff went down.
Mm. But you can also find him on our podcast. He's done a couple episodes. I forgot what the episode numbers, but
yeah. Well, what I was gonna say about him just expanding is, think about that. He just expanded and broke. He bought the place next to him, broke down the wall, and opened up his studio.
That's stressful as it is.
Yes.
And then
he gets told he can't have any people come in and pay.
The thing is, though, if you listen to him on our podcast, the things that he's already overcame before, as far as when he left to what was that other country he went to?
Oh God.
Wasn't like Colombia, but it was like
it was
something like that. But he at the time he couldn't pay his rent, and he ended up figuring out. He always ends up figuring it out. If there's one person I know that could figure all this out, it's fucking Mike Martin. So
he's been through a lot of ups and downs with his where he had his place, and he really found a good place. I think that you will enjoy what Mike offers. All right. And he's got one of the sickest logos in all of anything. I'm going to see if I can.
The octopus?
Oh, man. It's
well, you can
badass.
see it on the shirt right here.
Yeah. Fucking badass, man. He does some cool shit with it, so...
I don't know if you can donate or how you can help, but I know you can buy shirts and merchandise and things like that. You could also sign up for his online courses.
He's I think he's partnered with, is it Cow Terra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think it's
Cow or something.
Cow Terra.
Cannabis cough.
Yeah. A really badass jiu-jitsu practitioner.
It probably says it on here.
This is him right there. So, no, that wasn't him. Where is he? Well, anyways, this is somebody that we think you guys should fuck with. So go check him out. Check out his podcast. Check out his academy.
He has men's, women's, and children. So even if you want to get your kids into something.
Yep. Fuck yeah. All right. Who we got next?
Oh, I got a shirt for this one too. So we've had this guest on. Was it 2 or 3 times?
I think it's been 3 times.
He was on twice by himself, and then the third time he came on with his wife. But he is a professional Twitch host, streamer. Yeah. If you're into video games, which I am into video games, I'm trying to balance that, being too addicted and not, playing too much. But this guy's all about it, and he's fucking funny as fuck. And he also has these badass shirts. You can get them at quickscopeapparel.com. The material on these shirts is just fucking so comfortable.
And it's super, super sick ink and designs.
Yeah, this shit glows in the dark. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
Wait, I'm not even holding it up right. There we go.
It not just that it glows in the if it does glow in the dark, whatever, but it pops like no other. Super, super comfortable material, like Keith said, and they got.
I know
cool
he
shit.
was on episode 69. You can check him and his wife out.
Lindsay Elise.
Yeah, his wife was also a streamer, cosplayer.
Yeah.
They do
they do. So I've been following them lately. I think they've been doing a bunch of stuff to raise money. Actually, I saw that they were doing their thing that they mentioned on the show where they raised the money for the computers.
Oh yeah.
For the Phoenix for the children's hospitals around the state. I think maybe country too. So they were just doing that recently, like within the last week, and I saw that I think they're doing like 12 hours. They were doing like I don't know, but
These long streams.
Yeah, long stream. So
so you can not only buy their apparel, you could go to their Twitch site and you can just donate while they play. So they're both very charming, both very funny.
Throw them a sub, isn't that or whatever that is?
Subscribe or whatever.
Yeah,
throw us a sub. Shit.
Yeah, fuck off.
But yeah, Zach's definitely one of our favorite guests. I've known him from the old school Halo Combat Evolved days. Next time he comes on, what's that?
I think he was talking about Halo recently. Something.
Well, there's a new Halo coming out this year.
And people are pissed about something, right?
I don't think so. Okay. Everyone's pretty stoked about it. Everyone's always so pissed off about something in the gaming world. But he's also in the music game, so I know he's involved with recording a project right now. So next time he comes on, I wanted to talk to him.
And
about
it's a really fucking
shit.
interesting one, if I remember correctly. It's kind of like a not what do they call that? Like role playing almost. Like it's like a story,
like opera rock,
kind of like Cote and Cambria type shit, maybe, but with where they're playing parts.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. They're playing parts.
Yeah, that'd be cool to talk about that shit. I love talking about more than anything, not only music, but like the behind the scenes of how it was recorded and, especially if the other members were there or not, things like that. Were you getting wasted? Just
There's
shit like
two
that.
things that I want to talk about real quick that what we're talking about now brought up. Have you been following WoW at all lately?
No.
So they're putting out, they got a new expansion coming out, or a new expansion. I think it's
from
called,
what level to what level?
Maybe it's patch. It's called Shadowlands. I think they're going to 130 maybe, or they're gonna.
It's at 120.
Yeah, it's at 120 right now. I think.
What are you at?
I think I have a 120, but I'm not geared out because I bought the latest patch and just leveled to it because you're only leveling 10 levels.
Yeah.
And just played. It was fun. I didn't have the time. But this new shit that's coming, it's making me want to find the time. And now I'm like, fuck, I have a little bit of time, but if I get back into it, it's gonna grab me. You know what I mean?
Tried playing WoW about 4 or 5 months ago for about a month, and to me the graphics just look old and shitty. Like it just seems all old.
Play it on this motherfucker, dude.
I did. I played it on that.
Oh, dude, it looks great now.
I mean,
dude.
It looks great, but I don't know. It just
it's cartoon. It's supposed to look cartoony.
I know. It just feels like old. Does that make sense?
It feels comfortable to me.
Yeah.
It feels like home.
Yeah, you put way more time into it than I did.
It feels like home.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, and the second thing. Sorry, I almost hit the ashtray over.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is talking about behind the scenes and like music and shit. Did you see the Deftones put out a couple of live feeds? I think it's Abe. I seen one with Abe and with Frank, and there's one where they talk to each other and they play some of the new Deftones shit.
Oh, cool.
It was kind of cool. It was kind of cool just to see them like they're in the middle of mixing it, and Abe's mixing. It sounds like Abe's mixing or something. I don't know. I don't know if they're in the middle of mixing it, but
I've seen a few of the behind the scenes in the studio on YouTube. Not the newest one, but
and they're back with Terry Date, right?
Yeah,
what am I saying? Terry Date's mixing it.
Yeah,
what
Terry
the
Date
fuck
is,
am I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit. Wow. So they had to.
I think what happened was
Stefan
was all pissed off on that last one. Was like, guys, if you guys want,
the shit they played was like really
bring
heavy.
Terry Date back, and we gotta fucking let me play some riffs because that one with the flamingos and shit. I could be totally wrong, but I heard there was a lot of drama, and you could tell like
there's
he wasn't
always drama, and that's what makes him so good.
Well, I know you're right, but what's funny about you're right. Like them fighting about writing their songs is what makes their songs great, because they're like, Stefan's into the heavy shit and Chino's into the fucking Cure and the lighter shit, but the mix of that is what the Deftones is.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of like John and fucking Paul and the Beatles is fucking like, I know it's a fucking huge fucking person to fucking compare them to, but you know what I mean? Like it's like they're gonna always they when they get around each other too much, they get into fights. You know what I mean?
I just haven't been into the Deftones for the last like maybe 2 or 3 albums.
I just recently got back into them, dude. and I started listening to the newer shit.
I actually just listened to Around the Fur though today.
Dude, I listen to that all the time.
And
dude.
I haven't listened to that in a long time.
That's the album I listen to the most is Around the Fur, and then that's my favorite Deftones album. It might be the first one. It might be the first one.
I go back and forth even from that to White Pony.
Yeah. Because that's what I was gonna say. I was just gonna say, but really, I've really gotten into White Pony was my favorite. Like I remember when that came out, dude. That was so fucking awesome. That time
That's
of
how
my
I was
life.
with Around the Fur, dude. When I remember waiting in line at Zia's to get it at like fucking midnight, and I came home and I had this shitty ass fucking boombox player, and that first boom da 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 da, dude. I didn't even listen to the rest of the album. I listened to that first riff probably 100 times. I just went, oh my god, this is bad, and I, dude, da. And I just fucking I just thought that riff was the baddest riff I'd ever heard in my entire life. We were probably like.
We were. 18? I can tell you, yeah, we were. It was
19?
senior year, I think, because I remember I fucking skipped school to go to Best Buy to buy it.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, I didn't. I skipped school to go buy something. Maybe it was.
I think even when I bought it, the Deftones were there because mine's signed, and I remember meeting them at Zia's and shit.
Anyways, I'm fucking stoned.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the next one?
All right.
Well, you know what? Speaking of Deftones, really quick, that could be a good segue to Jonah's book, just really quick.
Oh yes.
One of our favorite guests is we'll get to Robin for sure, but just because Deftones and Far are so related, both from Sacramento, even though I'm saying I haven't been in the Deftones the last few albums, they're still one of my all-time favorite bands, up there with Far and Wellhaven. And Jonah has this book called Alone Rewinding, so you could buy this book. He was episode number 60. One of my favorite artists of all time. Maclay's favorite of all time.
He's probably probably number one, man. He's really influential in my life. I know he's really influential in Keith's life. He probably if you guys can please check out our interview with him. We were talking about it a little bit the other day, short second, just talking about it, and it was fucking amazing just to even have him on the show. And we
were kind of nerding out.
Yeah, and the best way to explain it is there's that saying that says, basically don't meet your heroes because they're gonna disappoint you. And I'm glad I didn't listen to that shit because he fucking didn't disappoint. He was totally exactly what I thought he would be like.
Nicest dude ever.
Fucking super chill, cool. He hung out and fucking chilled, and
so he had a show right after at the Rebel Lounge that we all went to, and that was a bad as fuck show.
Shout out to the Rebel Lounge.
He actually wore a Bang shirt and did a shout out to Bang Salon for my girlfriend, which is really cool. Played some of our favorite songs, did requests. Then he ended up crashing out over here.
Yeah, shout out to the Rebel Lounge too.
Yeah.
That, like, what the fuck? That was cool as hell, man. That was who would expect it? And he still talks, is in contact with us, and he's just a cool cat that it was weird to kind of meet one of your heroes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so Far isn't the biggest band in the world, but they're definitely one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah,
but if you've never heard Far, they might not sound original now if you've never heard of them, because so many bands sound like them, but this shit came out in the fucking 90s before all these bands came out.
Yeah.
So they were like way ahead of their time and shit. So they were actually the band to get me out of fucking heavy music at the time. We actually told Jonah that. But yeah, here's Rebel Lounge that they actually played at. I don't know how you go about honestly supporting your local clubs and stuff right now.
You go to shows. That's the only way I could think of.
There are no shows.
So
what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So because there isn't, you're right. Well, maybe they are on that local tip place, or I'm sure there might be something like that. If we can find something, we'll maybe post.
Maybe they're on that tip jar. Maybe that's a segue to that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. But there's like a local tip jar place you can go to if you search Phoenix tip jar or something. I think it's like that. We'll talk about it later, but there's got to be something you can do for them. Maybe buy shows, for the future, tickets for
I'm
the
sure
future,
they have merch and
gift
all that.
cards. Yeah, but the Rebel Lounge is definitely a cool place. It's got a lot of history.
If you don't know, it used to be called the Mason Jar, and the Mason Jar is a legendary club here in Phoenix that literally every major band you can think of played at, from Metallica to Nirvana
coming
to fucking before they were big. We actually played, or not we, but I played with Torque. What was that one band? The chick's cousin was in it, and they had that popular song.
Papa Roach.
Papa Roach, yeah. Like we played with Papa Roach there. It was funny because Torque had brought more people than Papa Roach, and Papa Roach asked if they could go on before Torque because they knew everybody was just going to leave after them. So they actually opened for Torque, which is
That's weird.
Yeah, it was weird. And they had like a hit song at that. That was like, there's those weird moments where you're still kind of doing those van tours, but then your song makes it on the radio. But this was like right when it popped. You know what I mean? So it wasn't big yet. That
yeah, that's actually a good song, dude. Yeah. He's got some cool vocal parts in that song.
But I don't know if actually no, I do know. I asked that they did remove the stage, but every legendary act's played there.
Yeah,
it's
we
crazy.
talk about the Mason Jar a lot on the show, and you'll hear it in the future. It's just a big major club for historical reasons in the valley, and it's a cool place to see really intimate shows. And that was one of the cool things about Jonah at the show. He's like, fuck it, everybody just pull your table up here, and he had everybody pull their tables up to the front, and it was fucking really, really cool. And anywhere Jonah plays, that's the vibe you're gonna get from him, whether there's 100 people, 500 people, 10 people, whatever. You're gonna get that vibe from him. We talked about it before. We talked about on the show. He'll play on the curb in front of 5 people, and he'll play for he
does living room concerts.
He does living room. Like, the dude is a fucking cool motherfucker. And hit him up. He sells some cool merch. He'll even do custom songs. Like, he's the artist. He's the musician that
visit his webpage for sure.
Yeah, just check him out.
And he also did mention that hopefully, when all things get back to normal, he does plan on coming back here, at the end of the year. So hopefully, we'll link back up again. So.
Fuck yeah. All right. This is a big person for us.
This just came in the mail for me today. I'm pretty stoked about this. So obviously I haven't got to read it yet, but
Robin Cote.
Yeah, she actually brought this up on our podcast, and
I'm really proud of that moment.
Yeah,
and definitely not for us. And I didn't realize it, but I realized it. I didn't realize it going into that podcast, but when it was happening, I realized that was going to be a big moment just for me personally, because I was watching somebody tell real stuff that really affected her, that I don't think she talked about anywhere else much, if at all, maybe to anybody much at all. And I really have to give her respect and say, this is somebody that has just poured her heart out in a bunch of different ways with us in that short period of time we were in here. And then she said, you know what? This is something that helped me. And she started this amazing podcast called Get Real with Robin, where she kind of takes you to those places.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up. Go ahead and talk about it. Well, basically, real quick, she kind of takes you to these places that you don't want to think about, or people talk about situations that might not be the best situations to think about, but it makes you grow from it. You know what I mean? And also, it's just being real. Like, this is reality. You can't. If we don't talk about these certain things, it's always going to have a stigma, and certain things shouldn't have a fucking stigma.
She just stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah.
That was a proud moment for our podcast too, that she was willing to open up to us like that, about that, because she was, holding that in for a while. So that I felt, honored for her to tell us that, to us. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome.
It was unreal. It was a really good feeling to have. When that show ended, I remember getting up and just going, that was an excellent moment. So
how can you get her? Oh, so this is the
yeah,
podcast
this is her
right
show.
here.
If you go to her webpage, robincote.com, robincote.com, you'll see all her stuff. You can buy her book. She just had a new book come out, like Keith said, called Soul
Yeah, is this
Stirrings.
on the website or
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
on Amazon?
No, it's on Amazon too, but you can get it on her website right here.
Oh, okay, there it is. Cool.
You can also get it at Barnes and Noble. Yeah, but and this
Click
is
on
a
that Amazon link.
yeah, this is a lot about what she talked about on the show. That
You can get actually, her other book too.
yeah,
So
Victim No More and Soul Stirrings. I think she might have
I think there is a third book.
Yeah, but some of the stuff that she talked about, that she has the ability to see into places that we can't see, normal people can't see, and she didn't really ever talk about that and to very many people, and she felt okay to talk about it with us, and that's
what I'm saying. That was a proud moment
such
for
a
us.
good feeling.
Yeah.
So, but that's if you want to check out Soul Stirrings, I think that's
I can't wait to start reading.
yeah,
it, so
that's kind of
it's my next
that's
book
kind
right
of
now.
like anyways, check it out. Big shout out. Thank you, Robin. Also go check out Get Real with Robin, and also she produces Haters Make Me Famous. So check out Haters Make Me Famous. All right, I'm gonna let me see here. We're gonna go on to the next one. This is interesting. Okay, so we just got done talking about Robin. Somebody, I think Kirk. I can't remember if Kirk was. I think Kirk was before Robin. Kirk Nurmi was another guest that he was one of, I think, the first guests that kind of made at least me feel a little bit more like a real podcast, a real show, because I didn't expect to have him come in here and hang out with us and act normal. He was just a cool dude, and he high profile, attorney of the Jodi Arias case, defense attorney. He went through fucking hell. This guy went through hell, and you would never, to be honest, you would never guess it right now. He looks to be one of the happiest, coolest dudes you're gonna meet, but this guy went through some shit, and he battled through it. He came out of it in a way that I think what we love at the show and what we really respect is he battled through some fucking hard times. Not only did I'm talking about Kirk Nurmi.
Oh yeah.
Not only did he have to defend Jodi Arias in fucking trial and go through all of that bullshit and media bullshit.
I'm holding the wrong book up.
And go through all that bullshit. He didn't want to be there, and he was doing his civic duty. He was and he didn't want to be there, and then she treated him like shit. I mean, you can imagine. I'm sure a lot of people heard the stories, but then the public treated him like shit, and he sat down and gave us an interview. He talked about it, and then after dealing with the Jodi Arias shit, he battled cancer, and he beat that, and he talked about that, and he said, I'm gonna be a better me, and he made his life better, and he fucking seems super, super happy and super, super chill and cool, and he's become a pretty big part of our lives too. I follow him a lot.
But he's gonna come on the show again because not only is part 1 out, but he just released part 2 and 3. I don't know if you can put that up there.
Yeah.
So he said that he would love to do the show again as long as you can come in and see Fabius. So.
Yeah, that was the funny part because if you go watch,
there it is right there.
Yeah, if you go watch the episode, we didn't realize it was gonna show it, but he's got Fabius hair all over him. All right.
But yeah, you can order part 2 and 3 of My Final Words, Trapped with Miss Arias, right now on Amazon.
Yeah.
So.
And he's also a big part of the of the local community, and he knows
Robin very well.
Yeah.
He knows Chris Martin very well now. So.
And he also works he does a one-man show that's pretty cool. And
Well, he's also he does like motivational speaking.
Yeah.
He does a lot of different things.
yeah, he
Actually had a
recently
show that was supposed to happen in April, but obviously because of the pandemic,
he's got a one-man show.
I think they rescheduled it. We'll have to look into that, but
I think he did something.
He's like
with
it's like a
Nancy
comedy show.
Grace. Yeah, he's got a one-man show, like comedy type show. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's been all over promoting the book as far as with Nancy Grace, and then I think different news outlets and things. So
yeah,
and he also has a YouTube channel where he talks just about different topics and things too.
Yeah.
So,
all right, who we got next?
now I have that book.
Yeah. Joseph Newcomer, early guest, one of the first. I think it might have been one of the first guests. Like it was somebody that we didn't really know. You know what I mean? Like one of us.
I didn't know
really...
you brought him. I didn't know you didn't.
Well,
know
I
him.
had just.
I thought you knew him.
But you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a good friend or something.
Bringing strangers to the house? No, I told you.
You know what I mean? And
usually
I had just met him. I think.
Well, most of the guests before that you didn't know that I brought in.
Yes.
I mean.
At least, but I knew that at least you knew them. That you had like a pass with him. Like I had just met him. I had actually met Joe at Free Comic Book Day. I was doing Absolute Geek live at a local comic shop. Shout out Drawn to Comics. For Free Comic Book Day, which we were supposed to do recently, but obviously can't because of free. They canceled it. But he was there. He at the time he was doing a comic. He was actually doing a comic book podcast with Frank Caliendo, and Frank Caliendo was there, and they were doing their thing. And I remember I went and sat and bullshitted with him, and you could tell he was like this. You could tell he just didn't want to be there, and we were just started bullshit because I didn't want to be there either.
Why?
It was just cheesy. It seemed cheesy.
You mean the event?
Yeah, the event.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And he told me he had a book. And I was like, shit, dude. He said had a book coming out. I think he had his book there. I'm like, no shit, you're an author. Blah, blah. I'm like, come on the show. And he's like, sure. And when he came on the show, he was a fucking great fucking guest, man.
Oh, yeah. That's when we had the old school setup. And
it was...
Doesn't he have a new book out now?
That's what I was going to say. So... he actually gave us copies of his book, and his book is good. It's like a
time travel.
Yeah, fantasy type time travel thing, and he's fucking really good author, and you could tell he's growing, and he just put out some new stuff. So Diminishing Returns is the one that he gave us, and I believe he just put out a new book.
And Can you order this off the website, or is it Amazon?
So I believe you can get it on Amazon, but if you go to josephdnewcomer.com, but let me see here. Here we go. Buy on Amazon. I think he just had a new book come out. Yeah, is it El Camino Blue? Is that the first book? Maybe he just re-released it. Because remember, he had a book that came out. Yeah,
that's an older one.
Yeah. I think he's got a new one coming out.
I think you're right about that. I'll have to check back on his Facebook.
Yeah. But he was a fucking really good guest, and he's a cool cat. We still stay in touch with him. He's always we're always bullshitting on Facebook. He's into comics and shit, so he'll bullshit. We'll bullshit about comics and stuff. So yeah, we definitely got to get him on again and talk about his book. But yeah, he's a really good author, and he's got a cool story where basically he just would kind of write in kind of diary type shit, I guess, like in high school, and at one point he's just like, fuck, I'm just gonna start writing, and he's like, said I'm just gonna write a book, and he wrote a book, man, and I respect that. So, and it kind of caught him, and
this goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you feel like trying something, then just fucking do it.
Yeah. And
like if you thought about writing a book, don't think about it. Just put 20 minutes a day and fucking write every day and shit,
Yeah, just fucking do it. Yep.
And actually, right now it's easier than ever to even publish it, because even if you don't, I think Amazon gives you a hard copy, but if not, you can at least get the digital versions, so you can get your book easily published now through Amazon.
Yeah. All right, let me do this here. All right. Tap that Podcast and the AZ Beer Book, right?
Yep. We got another one of our favorite guests, Eric Walters. He has his own podcast called Tap That AZ Podcast, where he goes around and highlights different breweries around Arizona. And he also has this book called the Arizona Beer Book, which has these amazing photographic pictures of all these different breweries with a little different descriptions and stuff like that.
It's a fucking really cool, chill coffee table book, and
it's so fucking like nice.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, it's a perfect coffee
this
table book, and also so many people are into craft breweries and craft beers and shit like that right now. So most people are gonna be like, oh, I want to check that out. So buy one, throw it on your coffee table, but also go check out his podcast, Tap That AZ Podcast. He does some cool stuff, and he goes and kind of does little things on people's businesses, and he wants
to get behind the scenes.
Yes.
And really talk about the people that are actually making the beer and the art behind it. So there's a lot that goes into that shit, especially as far as not just the artistic part of it, but financially that you have to just to create.
Yeah. So check it out. Here's some recent episodes. Let's see here.
But podcasts, I mean, I don't know how you support a podcast unless you donate money, or if they have a what's that website a lot of people use?
Go check them out, and if you like them, subscribe.
What's that? I know, but what's that website that a lot of people use?
Patreon.
But if they don't have a Patreon, like I said, you could just buy his book, or I'm sure he has shirts
definitely,
and stuff
yeah,
like that.
You can definitely go buy his book.
Go to tapthataz.com and just message him.
Great fucking name too. What a great name. If you go to his about page, I'm sure. Let's see here. Does he have? No.
Anyway, they're also on Instagram. You can find them on Instagram, Tap That AZ Podcast, and also Facebook. So,
all right.
But there's also a few. I don't know if you want to close that.
Oh, sorry.
There's also a few, we don't have to pull them up or anything, but any way you can support, there's coffee shops that I go to, as far as like say Copper Star. I know right now Urban Beans is shut down, but Dark Hall's open. A lot of these places are doing drive-through. Oh, I know what you need to pull up is Carla's Bistro and the Tip Jar real quick.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know how things are obviously gonna change after all these rules are lifted, and a lot of these restaurants, especially the smaller businesses, might not survive. So, a lot of people are going to be losing jobs. I think it's very smart if you can, donate, or at least still, I know it's hard to eat out. I'm not going to lie. I haven't eaten out in a long time myself, but if there's a way you can, keep these businesses afloat. I don't know how Carly's Bistro is doing, but, so Carly's Bistro is one of our good friend Kyle, who is also on Absolute Geek Podcast with Brian's other podcast that he does on Friday nights. Kyle's wife, what's his wife's name?
Nubia.
She works at Carly's Bistro.
Yep, Carly's Bistro.
And it's on about what, 5th Ave in Roosevelt?
Yes.
I used to live on 3rd Ave in Roosevelt. I walk by it every single day. But you've been there a few times, haven't you?
No, it's at 128 East Roosevelt.
It's like 1st Ave in Roosevelt.
Yeah, 1st Ave in Roosevelt. Yeah. It's
Did
a
you
great
like some like gaming night or something?
Yeah, no, they do trivia all the time, so I would go up there and because Nubia does the trivia, and so I'd go up there and hang with Kyle and do the trivia.
Does she give you the answers?
No, we'd actually play, because you can get like free gift cards. So they would do like one night they did Walking Dead. It was funny because big shout out.
That's Kyle's favorite thing. He probably knows
hold
every
on. So they do all these different themed trivias, right? And Nubia's got to come up with the stuff. Well, she had asked. I think she had asked Kyle. I hope that she asked Kyle, and it wasn't Kyle going, "Hey, I want to do this," but she asked him, well, why don't you do a Walking Dead one? Come up with some Walking Dead. I'm sure people, because this is when Walking Dead was its highest. You know what I mean? And Kyle's a fucking massive Walking Dead fan, and Kyle's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna do it." Da da da. And like, no one showed up. So it was funny because it was just funny the one that he did. So, anyways, we would go up there and they would do theme shit, like Walking Dead.
But isn't there an Instagram that you pulled up?
Yeah. So, you can if you go to their Instagram, well, not
or
their
maybe
Instagram.
her Instagram.
It's but this is their webpage, carlysbistro.com, but
that's Yelp.
That's what I mean. Sorry, Yelp. But this is what Carly's Bistro came up on Yelp.
Okay.
Sorry. Let me see here. I'm trying to find that tip jar thing. Here we go. So, anyways, one of the things that Kyle had told us is that that was really fucking cool is this AZ virtual tip jar thing. And it's a Google Doc.
Scroll down it so like
you can see it. It's a Google Doc. It's but you can look it up. Look up AZ tip jar, and you'll find a link for the doc. Yeah, I'm going to. So here's all the.
So like also that's down the street.
Yeah, Aho Owls, Alamo Draft House, All American Modern Sports Grill. There's just
Angel Trumpets. That's down the street.
Yeah, there's all kinds of places that you can go, and they have individual employees, and the individual employees have either given their PayPal address that you can send money to PayPal, or their Venmo, and you can throw a virtual tip. So if you go to these places, if you frequent your local Baseline Pub or your Bikini
Hooters.
Lounge, Hooters, Padre Murphy's, whatever your local bar is, or your local, eatery, barbecue place, and you have, you spend money there, you enjoy going there, and you have.
Show hers.
I'm going to go and throw them some money because they're not working, unfortunately, and that's how they make their money. But here's
right there.
Carly's Bistro, and you can see here is Nubia Stinson, and her. If you just want to give her PayPal, is nubiastinson@gmail.com. So throw her some money because she's rad. She's a really good manager, and she treats her customers really well. And that's one thing that I want to show is because if you go to Instagram, let me find this shit.
You said she's not gonna like this.
No, I said I said this is the funny shit because
no, on the last episode. This is take 2, remember?
Oh yeah.
Because the last time you played it, you're like, she's not gonna like this. Me showing this.
What am I doing here, motherfucker? Say something, motherfucker.
What's that?
Say something.
I'm trying to keep it weird.
What the fuck?
Well, yeah. Even if it's not on the tip jar, just try to figure out a way to help your local businesses and all that.
Anyways, I was gonna go and show you some of she. If you follow her on Instagram, she'll give you updates of what Carly's is doing is they're doing to go stuff, and you can get like their specials for the day, and she'll give the specials of the day. Yeah, cool. So, but I'm sure there's other places that are doing the same thing. But yeah, so go check out that AZ tip jar stuff. All right.
And last but not least. Oh shit! I'll pick those up. All right. If you have a second and you watch the Bogcast, even if you don't watch the Bogcast, if you could hit the I guess the Howey Acting Studio.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. We got a couple more things.
Oh, we got a wrap.
Oh yeah. What time?
5 minutes.
Oh shit! Sorry. The Howey Acting Studio. They're a big part of the Bogcast, and a big part of acting in Arizona and teaching actors how to be actors. And they have an amazing amount of experience and really good at what they do. And Carla was an amazing guest, and I can't say enough about how cool they were. So shout out to them. Also shout out to budsglassjoint. Make sure you guys go check out budsglassjoint, one of the best places in Arizona to get your smoking accessories, and they are a big part of the local community. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to molliconekennels. If you guys want to get your dogs trained to hunt or just obedience, go check out molliconekennels. Check him out on Facebook. He's also does rattlesnake training, so your dog stays away from rattlesnakes. Other than that,
is that Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, this is his Facebook, molliconekennels, on Facebook. So other than that, I think that's it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did we forget it? I'm gonna make sure we didn't forget anybody. Also, the film bar.
Yes, the film bar. Definitely check out the film bar. Binge on this.
Oh yeah, this is our homies podcast out in LA.
Fuck yeah, check out
Sam
Binge
and
on
Bryan.
this.
We actually just did individual episodes. They should probably be dropping this week, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Sam and Bryan were a huge part in me having any kind of gig or job anytime as an actor in LA. They always let me stay there. They're always so kind to me, and they've come out here and done a podcast with us, so you can find them on our podcast.
They're just solid dudes, and they're really fucking funny, and they've got some really good shows on their YouTube channel. So
yeah, they have several different kinds of shows of not just podcasting, but them just fucking talking shit, watching different clips of movies, and
him doing reading and shit. And they have a show called What's Hood, where a Mexican gangster talks about crazy shit. Perry Kurtz, a legendary comedian, does a show on there on Binge on This. So check out their channel.
Make sure to subscribe always.
Yep. The film bar. Make sure you check out the film bar.
The film bar is doing things to raise money. I know you could check out their Facebook and maybe even their Instagram. I've seen a lot of posts and people sharing different things of ways that you could support them, but obviously they're a huge integral part of the film community here in Phoenix and Arizona. Not only do they support showing local films and stuff, but you can also catch badass movies there and stuff, so one can get a beer at the same time. So
and we got some other places that we're going to talk about pretty heavy coming up in the next couple shows, so just wait for them. So well, I want to talk about local comic shops and stuff.
Okay.
So I mean, we can talk about them right now. I mean, real quick, if you want.
If you want to just go through real quick, and then we'll talk about it more. On
Okay, that's what I was figuring. But I definitely want to shout out.
I feel like a dick. It's just because of the audio.
No. Make sure you guys check out Tales from the Flipside. That's my one of my other shows I do. We have a really diverse channel where we talk a lot about collectibles. How do you sell them? We also talk about comic books. We talk about Golden Age comics. We talk about foreign comic collecting. We talk about all kinds of crazy comic stuff. We've got some really good interviews with artists and writers. And also check out Absolute Geek. We've talked about that. So we've had Kyle on here many times. Check out the Absolute Geek podcast. And other than that, that's about it.
Okay. And then can you pull up ours?
Yeah, ours. Here.
YouPorn.com. I knew it. And then if you have a second to hit the little red button right here.
Bada bing.
Sweet. And we also have, if you want to help support the podcast, all you have to do is ask for a sticker and we'll hook you up and just slap it on somewhere. We also got buttons. McClay's going to have a couple shirts soon. Yeah, we want to get this Don Rizze shirt done. McClay's working on a badass DMT shirt that we got. If anyone has any hookups or anything on ways to make shirts, or a business that that we could just help support and work with, that we could help each other, that'd be awesome too. So
yeah, shout us out, let us know,
and
check out our Instagram at the Bogcast.
Yeah, I think I barely ever, like, recently I was looking through the analytics and stuff, and I feel like, you know, a lot of people aren't hitting that subscribe button. They watch it, but they're not subscribed. So if, you know, if you have a split second just to hit that little red button, that helps us. Our goal's always been to try to get to 1,000. So we finally got to 750, which is kind of cool. So, but yeah, you can find me on Instagram at obit166. Find McClay at Brian McClay. That's Brian with a Y. And do you want to plug your other shit real quick?
I already talked about Absolute Geek. Make sure you guys check out Absolute Geek podcast. YouTube. We have a YouTube show. We also, you can find it on our all your podcatchers and stuff like that. Matt has a show that he does where Matt and Corbin have a show where they do Wednesday reviews and shit on new books and stuff. And also check out, like I said, Tales from the Flipside. If you want to get on our buy, sell, and trade raffle Raz Room Discord server, hit me up on Instagram.
Sweet. And
got it.
Sweet. And we'll be resuming guests in the studio here soon. So we got a bunch of exciting things lined up for May. And yep, that's a wrap on episode 79 of the Bogcast.
Bang!